This is Eddie checking in.
And this is Gage checking in.
And this is Two Boys Podcast.
You betcha.
Yes. All right, so we're going to start off with just a reminder on social media. We're now on YouTube. Second video for YouTube. Really excited.
This time it'll not be interrupted like it was last time.
Yes. Oh my
I
God.
turned off voice activation, so nothing we say is going to interfere with my GoPro. Hopefully.
Oh. Whoo. Yeah, so we're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Facebook page name is Two Boys Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, likes, dislikes about the,
Snide complaints.
yeah, definitely put it on the Facebook.
Yeah, you work with us. You want to say that Gage talks to you fast?
Wow.
Feel free.
Feeling some type of way?
No, I'm good.
Okay. And then on Twitter too at Two Boys Podcast. We're on that as well. So yeah. And so today's topic is one that's a little dear and near Gage right now.
Yeah.
It's about burnout. Working too much, working too hard. Well, not working too hard. Everybody works hard, but eventually, shit just gets all caught up, and it just comes piling down sooner or later. And then we'll segue into also taking opportunity because, when you feel burnt out, there has to be a way out of that,
Yeah.
the way out of the burnout,
Yeah.
So yeah.
You could cover social media.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. So yeah, I guess for burnout, recently I kind of gotten, I don't know, just so irritable and nasty and towards the end of my rope, and just dealing with the inconsistent schedule that I work. We work together at a certain coffee shop that will remain nameless unless you listen to our first episodes. But that's not the biggest deal. But then after that, I go immediately across the street to a certain movie theater that shall also remain nameless. And that theater is kind of changing its policies. It's kind of pulling a lot of hours from certain coworkers, adding new workers to kind of balance out the schedule and give them reasons to give less hours to certain people. And it's all just...
I gotta
it's chill. Yeah, Eddie's a little
My shoes.
bundled up in the docs department right now.
My fucking shoe is so tight right now.
It's the pressure. It's too much pressure, bud.
There we are. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
but basically I just become so tense with this instability, and I really couldn't put my finger on it. I couldn't name what the problem was until I had a discussion with one of our regulars at our coffee shop that we work at. And he's always been there. Always.
He's over there, yeah.
But he's
know
a
who
real
you are.
smart dude. If you're listening, and he won't, because you make fun of us before you even press play on the first episode. He gave me extremely settling and just super practical, straightforward, helpful advice. Basically that instead of working shift jobs like I am, where I'm just constantly filling in the hours in the day, to look for, now that I've graduated college, just a regular 9-to-5 office job. He's basically explaining, going through it, and it made me feel really dumb because I always knew what a 9-to-5 was, full-time job, working in an office, doing administrative work or doing whatever, but the stereotypical 9-to-5, but I never thought it was something that I could do. Not even something that I should do, oh, that's for other people to do. That's stupid. I'm above that. Not even that. I literally just thought that's not a lane I enter into. I had this idea in my mind that I hustle and hustle and hustle and fill my days with work hours at different jobs to make money, to make ends meet, to overpay the bills so that I can get on top of my shit and basically just fucking sprint up this hill. And at the top of the hill, there's going to be something waiting for me. But it's unreasonable because, God forbid, I twist my ankle on the way up. There's nothing to aspire to if I'm not taking care of myself. And recently I realized that the stress of instability, not knowing where my next shift's going to be, when it's going to be, and especially because they're cutting hours now, it all starts to cave in, and it makes me feel lost. So he was really... I couldn't thank him enough for just kind of pulling me out of that darkness with even just the smallest bit of practical advice, hey, get a full-time job. Like, that's all I needed to hear. He started going on about benefits and salary. I'm like, I'm going to stop you there. Like, you just said consistent schedule, full time, and that you have the afternoon to yourself. Because the things I want to do, I want to write screenplays, make movies. And if I get off a job at 5, 6 p.m., and I have even a couple hours to myself every single day for the whole week, that's heaven. Like, I couldn't ask for anything better. I'll do any work from 9 to 5 if it means that every day I can come home at 6 and sit down in front of my laptop knowing that is my time to write and giving myself that time, giving myself that consistency. Because right now I'm basically trying to pick hours out of every day, and I don't know when I'll get 3 and I don't know when I'll get 30 minutes. And balancing, well, do I eat and write at the same, or do I eat and read? Like, it's really starting to fucking grind my nerves, and yeah, that's just my experience right now, and I really just needed to get that out there because fucking, I felt so stuck and broken, like.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't figure out why I was so fucking frustrated, and that made me more frustrated because I couldn't find a way out. And he literally was like, "Hey, look up there. Like, that's your solution. That's a solution, at least.
That's your exit strategy, right?
Yeah,
there.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, here's an escape rope."
Yeah. No, I definitely know what you mean, man. Like, as you were talking about that, it reminded me while I was in grad school. And so for anybody who doesn't know, I dropped out of grad school. And mainly the reason was because I didn't fucking like it anymore. I felt burnt out, actually, too. I would go into class, and I would, like, text my girlfriend. I was like, I don't even want to fucking be here right now. I just don't feel comfortable. I don't, like... And not to say, the people made me feel comfortable. It's just the whole... One, it was, like, my mindset, and how I felt about it all. And then 2, I figured out what I really wanted to do, which was, furniture design. And all my classes didn't revolve around that. So, like, I felt like I was wasting my time being here. And, like, I literally had the obligation of, like, staying in these classes and finishing out the semester just because, I'm paying to go here. And I remember after that semester, 1, feeling scared as fuck because I was like, I have so many more semesters to go until I finish. And then 2, I had other prerequisites that had to be met, which I didn't even start on, which is get an internship. And I felt super hopeless, and and like I felt super shut down, and just felt like out of whack of sorts because I'm comparing myself to other people. I was like, damn, like they're figuring it out, they have an internship, like they're about to graduate. Wow, that person has a job. They're doing really good. They do what they want to do in their field of career, and then I'm over here like I work at this coffee shop. And like there's really nothing else that I'm doing, and so after that I told myself, I was like, do this, give yourself a semester off, see what happens, and then this can actually segue into take an opportunity really well, and see what happens, and if you feel good after that one semester of a break, then you go back and finish your degree. And so this goes into me kind of like almost starting to reinvent myself and thinking about, okay, well, if I want to start making furniture or like at least start, whoops, my bad, that was my watch.
Damn, we have to turn that chime off.
Done on the hour, every hour, it beeps. I don't know how to turn it off. So
if only you came with the manual.
I know, right? Shit. Thrift finds. So I started to reinvent myself. I was like, all right, well, like if I want to do this, I have to start somewhere. I can think all day of all the possibilities that I can do. You read the books, watch YouTube tutorials on how to make furniture or like how to start designing. But until I get like at least my foot in the door to do something that like actually applies with some type of upholstery or design, then I'm not there yet. So I started to like look around my immediate area to see if there were any upholstery shops, and then there were 2. The first one I went to, they like flat out didn't even want me there. They were like, yeah, no, sorry, like not happening. We don't have the space. And I of course I lacked experience because I didn't have, I just had little to no experience at all. The only experience I had when it came to actual upholstery is I took a class separate from my grad program to to learn how to upholster a regular chair. Like you have to bring your own chair. Which, fun fact, I'd even bring my own chair. I was like, I didn't know that that was part of the requirement. And luckily, the Kevin, who ironically is the guy who was teaching the class and not my current boss now in my other job, he had an extra chair. He's like, yeah, nobody ever picked this up, so you can work on this. So I was super fucking lucky. But but yeah, I only had like about, it was 8 weeks and 3 hours. So yeah, I had 24 hours in total of like actual upholstery experience, making one, like redoing one chair. So yeah, so that first place I went to didn't want nothing to do with me. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And then I tried another place that was like a little bit down the street, and then I could never get in touch with the guy because he was never there, and like his hours were super restrictive. It was really weird. So I was like, all right, again. So, oh, I actually remember. So I went to my school to write up the leave of absence papers. So like I'm still enrolled, but like I'm allowed to take my semester off. And I just really out of the blue, you know, it was the middle of January, and I'm like, like let me just try calling McLaughlin Upholstery, which is the place I work at now, and I'm not even gonna ask for a job. I'm just gonna like see if I can visit them and see what they're going on. So like I can start getting the ball rolling a little bit. And Katie, the pretty much the operations manager, she like runs everything when it comes to like paper and whatnot. She picked up the phone, and I gave her the whole spiel. I was like, hey, like I go to this school, I'm studying for this, but I really want to like do upholstery and design. Like I have a little experience, and I wasn't trying to pitch it as like I need a job, but I pitched it as like, hey, look, I just want to start getting myself exposed to the actual like environment of it, and not just be like on Instagram just flicking through like people that I follow. And she was unbelievably nice. She was like, oh my god, yeah, like of course, come through, like we'll set up a day, let's trade emails and whatnot. And I was like, oh awesome, like I was super stoked. I dressed up nicely to go there, thinking it was like a really nice, like well organized place. It's like it's not horrible, but it's like what you would expect is a whole bunch of guys that like get like down into the dirt, and like they're like dealing with heavy machinery and like fucking sawdust all over the place from sanding down furniture pieces, and it's just a shop. It's like walking into a sweatshop. There's like sewing machines, and like people are like
what have I got myself into?
Like, where am I? So like I'm all dressed up like in nice shoes and a button up, and then Katie, she was like we met, and she like walked me over to Kevin, who was like 5 feet away from us, because he's like in the nitty gritty too, like cutting fabric pieces and like sizing up chairs and whatnot to get them prepared for the upholsterers. And then Kevin turned to me, and he was like, so you want to make a lot of money, huh? I was like, yeah, yeah, eventually. And he was like, so you got some good ideas? And I was like, yeah, like I draw every once in a while, like I want to make sure whatever idea I have for furniture, I document it, so I never forget it. And then he kind of just straight up says, he was like, so you want to like come here and volunteer every once in a while? I was like, hell yeah, I'll definitely do that. And like that was like my foot in the door. It was, I asked, and I received something. It was just out of the blue. I just wasn't expecting it. And then from there too, like it felt like an exchange, because not only was I looking to get something out of them, they were also were asking, like trying to get something out of me. They were like, well, like our business, we're doing good, but we like want to start expanding and starting to like try to catch up to everybody, because now we feel like we're falling behind. And he was like, well, are you good with like Instagram or anything like that? I was like, yeah, like I know how to use it pretty well. And so he was like, well, would you mind like creating an Instagram for us so we can start posting the work that we do and like having it on a platform so people can see? I was like, yeah, sure. And so since then, beginning May going on to now, I've built up their not Facebook profile, but their Instagram is connected to our Facebook. So anything that I do on Instagram goes on Facebook.
And Facebook on Instagram.
Yeah, and vice versa. It works out really nice. You know, we've built up an audience and a following like of 500 people now, which is great. You know, I've used Instagram, but I never used it in a way to like prop up a business. So like that's all exciting, and that's new for me. And what this whole experience of taking an opportunity was, not only like did it get my foot in the door, but like it like propped me up to take more responsibility. Because like, yeah, like I'm young and a millennial, and you know, when it comes to that age difference, like there are certain things that like one group will get while the other one doesn't, and vice versa. But like I didn't shy away from opportunity. Are you making sure it's recording?
I didn't want to interrupt you. I really didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah.
This was such a good... You were going on so well, and I'm like, please tell me everything's recording, and I was just doing a quick glance.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to derail you. That's the exact reason I checked, because I'm like, fuck, please make sure it's recording.
But yeah. But
Okay.
anyways, like, so I can like cut off on the tangent. But when you do take opportunity, you'd be surprised what you'll get, but then all of a sudden there will be things that like come with it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, like you want to do this? Yeah, totally fine. But like what can you do for us? And again, you just don't shy away from it. And like, you know, it's even rubbed off to a point where Katie, like, she's starting to, on her behalf, like post things on Instagram too, which is like really nice, because like now it doesn't feel like it's so much on me, like even though it is my like sole responsibility to make sure that the whole thing is running smoothly, but at the same time she is taking it upon herself to like, you know, help me, like throw me a bone every once in a while. It's like, yeah, I can throw up a picture for you if you need it, and it does really well. So
That's great.
and then now I'm on payroll with them.
There you go, buddy.
And
Yeah, I mean, I remember Eddie telling me about this journey, this like experience of being at McLaughlin, and he's like, oh, I'm working for these people, it's really cool. And that's when you found that chair on Facebook Marketplace for free,
Yeah.
brought it into the house and started doing the work. And, you know, coming in every time I come here to do the podcast, it's at another stage. You know, you've kind of laid out the horse hair that you have, or like, you know, the padding and things like, oh, I bought these tools, and then next time I'm like, oh, these tools were wrong, but I got these other tools, and now I have the right tools, and this, that. Bro, you wouldn't believe the tax on this thing. It's like all over the place. And I've had to remove so many layers, then it's like oil and this and oil and that. And I was like, it's really, I mean, if I was going to make a movie about this, I would use your chair as like the time set piece. You know how like in movies when they get a puppy in the beginning of the relationship and then it's a dog at the end? Every romantic movie now, La La Land, Star is Born, they all have the puppy into an older dog thing. That chair is your dog. Even though you have a dog, that chair is your dog.
My metaphorical though.
Yeah, because like if I was gonna track your success, be like, oh my god, I got this, and then it's like the chair's looking beat up at times. You're like, no, but I'll rally and I'll really. Yeah. So, but I remember hearing that this was like, you always refer to it as an internship, and you're talking about pushing social media, and you're talking about how, you know, oh man, when that first client comes and they say, yeah, I heard about you on Instagram.
Can't wait for that.
Dude, I'm really excited for you for that moment, because I know when that happens, it'll all have been worth it, especially because it's a multi-front career advancement. It's like social media knowledge as well as reupholstering. Yeah. It's like you're learning something from them, but also giving them something.
Yeah.
You know, because you're taking the knowledge. Obviously, your hands on deck, but ultimately you're there to absorb this information, to be hands-on, to be boots on the ground. But but you're also giving them your expertise for what you have and your spin and your knowledge of social media. Helped much in part by Gary Vaynerchuk. Thank you very much. And the thousands of books that you're always constantly reading. Yeah. But that you fucking are working. You're working at it. You're giving them something. It's like, so you only talk about it in like the most positive way, and that's why it's gonna fucking work out.
And what's like even cooler about it too, because when I talk about the exposure of it, like being in it, you know, like, so I'm a furniture stripper, so any new pieces of furniture that we get, nice. I know, right?
Where's your G-string?
It's just my day job.
It's not a pole, it's like a fucking lounge, a fainting couch.
So yeah, so any pieces of furniture that we get, like I'm the first one who gets to like touch it or see it, which is kind of cool.
Hot.
Yeah, pretty hot. And like what's even like cooler is I just worked on a piece that is it's the Aeroserinin womb chair.
Womb?
Womb chair. It's
Womb. WOMB? Womb?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
okay.
womb chair. Aeroserinin, he is
Can you say that like more? What? Aaron? What?
Aero.
Oh,
No, Ito Saarinen.
Okay.
That's it. He actually has 2 buildings here in Massachusetts. I'm pretty sure he has more. He has the auditorium building at MIT and then the MIT chapel.
Oh, he designed those.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both those buildings, and so he also did furniture as well. And I'll go off on another tangent. So he designed the womb chair, which is sold and trademarked. Not trademarked. I'm not going to say that. But you know the company Knoll.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe.
so Knoll is a furniture company started by Florence Knoll. Eero Saarinen and Florence Knoll were really good friends. And so they, along with like the Eames and a whole bunch of other like mid-century modern designers, they were kind of like the forefront, and they were like pushing all of the new modern designs. And that was in help because the Eames were doing a lot of cool stuff with like form wood and like bending it. And then they also discovered fiberglass, which was also really good furniture because they can get shapes that traditional wood can never get. So the womb chair is literally this one whole piece of fiberglass that is just formed in a nice circle, but it has like indents and curves that'll fit into a seat.
Oh.
And yeah, and then it sits on like a simple metal frame. It's a gorgeous couch. Look it up. Oh, it's not a couch.
No.
Sorry.
Gage, make a note to put that right here, the picture of that, because it sounds crazy. We're going to write it down after the podcast, but it's going to be right here. Or I'm a lazy piece of shit, and you're going to have to look it up. Yeah. But it'll be right here. It'll be right here. This is wow, look at that. Look at that, Eddie. Look at that womb chair. That's crazy.
Oh my God. But
right here.
for me, like, it's one of those things that, like, when you read it, I've never seen the chair before, like, in real life. Uh-huh. I just read about it and seen pictures online. But to, like, see it in front of me and to work on it, like, I literally spent the whole day working on that chair. Because it's actually a pretty hard piece to, like, take apart.
Well, yeah, I mean, the whole point is you're using a material that traditional wood wouldn't be able to shape. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, let's fucking take it to its limits, and they're like, fuck, now we gotta take it apart. Like, yeah, how are we gonna do this?
But it was so worth it. Mike, who works right next to me, he was like, oh, that chair is a son of a bitch.
Oh, the white whale.
Yeah. I was like, it is, but it's like, I can't believe the fact that I'm like getting to work on that piece.
Yeah.
And
I can see how excited you are, man.
It's like a dream come true. And there's other chairs too, like the Eames Lounge chair, the Papa Bear chair by Hans Wagner. He had another chair that came in. I think it's called the tripod chair, but it's a gorgeous piece too. Tripod chair. Yeah, it's like those people were using bent plywood, like the correct way.
Wait, well, then what's the incorrect way?
Making it really IKEA. That's the incorrect way.
Not a sponsor. I
don't care.
More like
I see ya.
I see ya. It's actually pronounced IKEA.
IKEA. Yeah.
The Swedes will be extremely offended if I don't interject.
Ironically enough, it's the Swedes who like started the bent plywood movement too. I mean, and the like minimalist movement as well. So
I'm just because you started doesn't mean that people continue it in spirit. Mm-hmm. I mean, Germans basically created beer. It's probably false. You're going to be like, well, actually, the ancient Phoenicians, once in the desert. No. Okay, you know what? Germans are really great at making beer, but I'm sure there's some shitty German beers.
Yeah. But anyways, off on that tangent, like, that opportunity, you just don't realize it when you first get into it. Yeah. It's this one thing right now, and then you kind of just move up exponentially as time goes on.
In some opportunities, people talk about luck a lot, but I forgot, and of course I'm paraphrasing, but the quote is like, there's no such thing as luck. Luck is when opportunity or when preparation meets opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Basically saying that, yes, obviously some things come down to luck, but you have to be there to get it. Like Eddie, when he goes to a thrift shop and finds a vintage Adidas sweater with this steezy ass emblem right here.
Look at that.
So this is just for the video viewers, but for the podcast listeners who are exclusively audio, Eddie found this
zipper on the side too. Like I just found that before we started podcasting.
Yeah,
too.
Eddie found this beautiful navy vintage Adidas sweater with hardly, if any, I couldn't see any blemishes. Mm. The ink is still in perfect condition. Yeah. And because Eddie showed up to this store and he keeps going every day he gets a chance, and look at this, not luck, but opportunity. He found it on the rack. It could have been anybody else's, but Eddie was there on that time to find those fucking mugs of a particular...
you cannot be mad.
A particular coffee shop that we worked for. And I did have
to be there. If it was not for my girlfriend pointing it out in the picture that I sent her, which wasn't even in the
Are you shitting me?
I swear to God.
You sent her a picture and she's like, what's that?
Yeah, he was like, wow, those are little cups right there. I was like, holy shit.
And Are you shitting me? That part is the best part of the story. I can't believe you didn't tell me that.
Oh my God.
Because you said, I found these. If you told me that your girlfriend pointed them out in a photo... Oh, man. That reminds me. I was trying to surprise my ex with something, and I was taking a picture of myself in the mirror.
Yeah.
And she saw the present that I was going to get her in the reflection of the mirror. I was like, ooh! But anyways, that was amazing. Yeah, but the reason I bring that up is because a lot of the things that's happened to me for my opportunity have been very quote-unquote lucky. For instance, I went to Wheelock College as my alma mater. I love saying that because I've never got to be able to say that. Mm-hmm. Latin is so cool. Except when you're raised Catholic, it's shit's so boring. But I went to Wheelock College my freshman through junior year. At the end of the summer of my so basically going into my junior year, and that we've talked about this in previous episodes, but just to recap, I thought I was going to graduate from Wheelock as a psychology and communications major. The very last year at Wheelock was my junior year when I got an email saying that Wheelock's going under, BU, Boston University, is buying Wheelock College. You will be Boston University students. And I was so stoked. A lot of people were scrambling. They're like, this is I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Including some of my friends. One friend in particular who also experienced burnout, unfortunately. She's not going to be pursuing grad school because... the same thing you were going through. That's kind of touching on more on the beginning. Yeah. But that was a weird tangent. Sorry. But my point is that you could see that as lucky, but it offered so many opportunities for me that I did my best in not passing up, being that I had access to much higher end technology when it comes to video production. I had my hands on C100s and RE light sets, which before that I was dealing with dinky DSLRs.
Yeah, they're right there.
C100.
I don't even know what they are.
Basically, things that you would be working on in an actual professional movie set. Because when I got that opportunity that I told you guys about, when I was in New York working on that film, I was using the lights that I had experienced in school. So had I not had that opportunity, I would be looking at these things like, fuck, I don't know what to do with them. I don't know the etiquette of approaching them. I would probably burnt my hand a shit ton of times. I wouldn't know how to gel lights. I wouldn't know how to change the, spot and flood. All in baseball things. But basically, because the school bought us out, because our school was going under, and BU bought us, I had this opportunity, one semester, bittersweet because I only had a semester, but I had that semester, and I tried to do with it as much as I could. And now there are connections that I can... take advantage of. There are technologies that I got my hands on to increase my experience, more confidence working with these things. Working with this professional camera, it looks like a giant brick computer with a bunch of buttons. How am I supposed to know how to approach this? I was literally talked through how to use these things. So I could have seen that as luck, and I could have it was very daunting, but I tried to get as much of that as possible. And just recently, speaking of opportunity, our particular coffee shop has many regulars. A lot of our customers are regulars, one of which gave me the very critical advice about working a full-time job. That very same customer also gave me a very important push to ask another regular about a important work experience. There's something I applied for that is extremely long shot. With my experience, it's an extreme long shot if I get it. However, like anything in this world, it's not exactly what's written down on paper. It's not what you know, it's who you know. Obviously, classic, the classic quote. But it's so true, because who sends an email to the department to get you that job is going to make the difference. You know, just sending in the application alone, just cold with a stranger, God knows if you're going to get it. If you get it, you know, more power to you, God bless. But I needed a little bit more of a push. So anything can help. In this one particular customer that we always get, he's very high up in the place that I want to work. And I was very scared of taking advantage of that opportunity. I felt like I didn't deserve to be there. Like I didn't deserve what?
The meme that's running in my head is like, smells like bitch in here.
Yeah, well, you know what? It is very bitch of me to not try to take advantage of that. I didn't feel confident enough to sell myself in this situation, to say that I deserve to be in this job. And maybe still a part of me doesn't, but at least if I fucking ask, if I say something, then it doesn't matter how scared I am. It'll either work or it won't work. It doesn't hurt to ask. And I know that's super obvious, but God, I wish it wasn't so hard for me. And he noticed, the guy who helped me ask this guy, and it all went down at the time. I made his drink, and then I was like, hey, blank customer, I applied for this thing. I would really, you know, it would be cool, or, you know, I'm so nervous I forgot what I said, but I basically said, hey, I applied for this thing, kind of with the inference of like, could you help a brother out?
Yeah.
And then he's paused, and I'm like, fuck, I shouldn't have said anything. And then he said, here's the name of this person. They're the top of your department. Hold for Clover. Clover, you thirsty.
Oh, we thirsty.
Chloe, you thirsty, girl. It's gonna be so loud.
Quack, 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 quack.
I'm gonna talk over it. Oh, there you go, good girl. But yeah, basically I asked him, he paused, I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have asked him this thing, I shouldn't have tried to take this opportunity, it sounded really opportunistic, but that's what I needed to do, I needed to take that opportunity, and he paused, and then he said, here's the name of this person, he's the head of the department that you want to work for, tell him I told you, and he's like, yeah, and I hired him. I was like, okay. Oh. He's like, tell him that you talked to me, give him the job listing, and, you know, good luck. And even just that, with whatever chances I have, it was like quadrupled at that point. Even if I have a fucking snowball's chance in hell, you know, at least I have something a little bit more. So, and I couldn't be any more thankful for that. But I needed to be pushed to that point. I need, you know, and that's the thing I need to work on is fucking pushing that voice out of my head that says you don't deserve to be up there with everyone else. Stop trying to compare myself to other people and just fucking try to take the shots.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So hopefully that works out. I'll keep you updated on all that, but shot has been fired. I'm out there. I took that opportunity. And the thing is, too, he went about his day and fucking wouldn't remember that interaction.
You never
but to me, I was like, no, I don't mean that in like a shitting on me kind of way. I just mean like to him, it was like, oh, no big deal. It wasn't like, man, that fucking dick of a kid. You know, like I was so scared that people would think so poorly of me.
Yeah.
But he's probably just like, oh, cool. I hope Gage works that out. And like, to me, I'm like, oh man, I don't know about this. Oh, Zoink Scoobs, I don't know about this. So yeah, I just need to get in my own head. I just need to fucking move forward and treat myself a lot better and just give myself more opportunities. Because a lot of the times it's not like, you know, and maybe think, you know, I'm not the one to be wielding advice at this point, but think about how many opportunities you think you missed because, it wasn't going to work out for me. Think about how many times you're closing the door on yourself. Because I know I've been doing that way too much, and I need to stop fucking... The doors are open, they're right in front of me, and I'm closing it like, I don't deserve to be here. It's and then I lock syndrome? That shit. Yeah, imposter syndrome.
Yep.
And I just need to drive that shit out of my head. So. Mm.
Boom, baby. Yeah.
So yeah, that was good. That was very therapeutic. Just need to get that off my chest. And I'm proud of you, bud. And I hope you get that second day.
Yeah, thank you. I hope so too. I really.
This fucking swag, bro. Sorry, I'm just so distracted. I love how we went 40 minutes without talking about this.
Wait until I get the Jordans in that I got.
Oh, forget about it, kid.
Dude.
Yeah, Eddie. Speaking of opportunity, dude, talk about that jump.
Oh my god. So. I'll premise this with this. So, like, I'm trying to be more aware about the goals and the things that I want to accomplish. So, every month I am going to write a list of goals, not super long goals, short-term goals, make it really manageable. There will be some long-term goals that can be segmented into each month. So, you know, I break them down one by one, not like try to ram it all in one shot. But, got a hair in my mouth.
Hold for hair?
Yep. But I think I had like 7 or 8 things on my goal list, and I only accomplished one of them. And that
Kobe.
And that one was to buy a pair of shoes for resale, and I did it just this past Tuesday, right before the end of the month. I have the sneakers app for Nike. And I got a reminder on my phone. It was like, oh, the Jordan 1 Retro Neutrals are like coming out in 15 minutes. I was like, holy shit. Like, this is my opportunity right now to like get these shoes. It's not a raffle. It's not like some fucking weird algorithm that I have to figure out so I can like get these fucking shoes. It's just on the app and I just have to buy it. And and like I'm like hunched over. This is also when I was working on the womb chair too.
So connected. We're working on the womb chair. Eddie gets a notification. Shoes are on. Dude, that's a bitch to work with. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Like, can you leave me alone, Mike? So like I'm hunched over, like literally counting down the minutes until it hits 10 o'clock so I can buy these shoes. And like the moment like it changed from coming soon to buy now, I was like just tapping the shit out of my phone. And so like
Eddie broke his phone, guys. Just smashed your finger through the CPU.
Through. Yeah. And so I buy him, and then I was like, yes, I got him. And then a fucking screen pops. It was like, you're on the waiting list now. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And so I'm waiting, and then I'm like, all right. And then I look at it again, and then it was like, oh, you didn't get the size. The size is all sold out. It's like, fuck. So like I click on like the little size chart for the transaction screen, and like you just see like gray, like it grays out all the shoes not available.
Damn.
And then I was like, all right, next size up 10. Boom. Okay, buy 10. And then I'm like waiting. And he's like, and then a nice like little screen pops up with the shoes, and he's like, got him. Like it. Wait, I can actually.
No. Don't worry. I'll add it in. You already sent me the screenshot.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you sent me the thing when you bought them. Don't show your shitty screen on this GoPro. No.
Off.
No, I'm gonna put it here, dude. I know. You sent me the screenshot. I'm gonna put it right here. Trust me. It'll be good, high quality. Trust me. I'll email myself, dude. I have a whole list of notes of things I have to include. Okay. Second episode, we're already superimposing so many images, I know, right? And maybe some other ideas too. But we'll talk about that later. We'll do a post-pod breakdown later on. But I think
taking opportunities.
Opportunities. That's the name of this episode. That's the theme. Taking opportunities and fucking letting yourself take those opportunities. Because, God, there's so many things so many things I have just stopped myself from doing because I thought, it's for somebody else. It's not for somebody else. It can be for you if you fucking make it for you. So just stop fucking telling yourself no. Because you're already going to hear that from enough people. You don't need to hear it from yourself. Did I just make a fucking quote? My guy, dude. Did I just fucking... Anyways.
Make a quote,
Gage gets a little confidence and runs with it way too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, Eddie's gonna go, oh, we're getting physical now.
Yeah, for books.
Okay. I don't have my movie. I'm gonna have to put my movie poster. I'm taking advantage of this space too much. I think I'm gonna overuse it. Yeah. I'm gonna be in like Premiere, like too many fucking layers. This thing won't render.
Alright, so book and movie recommendation of the week. This is The Survivors Club by Ben Sherwood, and this book goes into literally the worst things that can ever happen to you and the best method plus the scientific like evidence that backs it up on how to survive. So I just started reading this and it's really, really good. it like goes deep. Like, the preface of the book starts off with the author of the book goes to a Navy facility for like their whole training, and it's all like just pools and pools of like, you know, just tests. So like each test has to be done in the pool, and it's because like, you know, the Navy's like they're in the water, duh.
Wait a minute.
So like
You're telling me the naval forces are in water?
Yeah, exactly.
I thought they were in the desert. Shit.
Yeah.
I gotta rethink my whole life.
It's like having, you know, it's like having a Coast Guard in Arizona.
What? In Oklahoma?
Yeah. But yeah, so he goes into the, like, what each test does, and he, like, has to put on all this air flight uniform, like, and then they're, like, strapping him to chairs, and, like, the chair flips over, and it, like, dumps him into the water.
I gotta show you a video about that afterwards.
Yeah.
Helicopter training. When the helicopter crashes.
Yeah, and, like, that's one of the tests that he has to do. And,
everything's
like,
disoriented. You don't know up from down, left from right.
It's crazy. But yeah, like, that book is really good. Highly recommend it. That's just crazy.
And my movie recommendation for this week is the movie Office Space, I believe by Mike Judge.
Wait, is that the one where they like fucking smash the
yes,
printer? Oh,
yes,
okay.
It is. And I actually just saw a clip of that. It's turning 20 years old this week. I think it's in the theme of 9 to 5s. Obviously, I'm approaching 9 to 5 full-time jobs with a much more shiny disposition than this movie portrays it as. But it's a classic movie, classic American movie about life in the office, the ins, the outs, the dread, the absolutely soul-sucking work, TPS reports. From the personal experience, I think it's Mike Judge. I'm just gonna confidently say Mike Judge. From the personal experience of Mike Judge being an engineer working in offices, and this one guy who just tries to flip it upside down and be like, fuck this thing, and it's a hilarious movie filled with a lot of classic gags. And actually, what I learned, it's very influential in American culture. I was just watched a video about this. That's why it's on the brain. Swingline, the stapler company. You know, there's Milton in the movie. He's like, don't take away my stapler. Don't take away my stapler.
Yeah.
Swingline wouldn't make red staplers for the movie. The movie wanted to do a brand integration thing and make red staplers.
Yeah.
They wouldn't, and so the prop department made their own red stapler with Swingline's logo and everything. After that, the movie came out. Swingline got so many requests for red staplers they actually started producing red staplers. Because like nobody's gonna buy them. The movie came out, everyone's like, "Where's my red stapler?"
Yeah.
Like everyone wanted the red stapler.
That's like with Toy Story and the Etch and Sketch. Etch and Sketch was just about to go bankrupt when Toy Story came out and used the Etch and Sketch as like one of the characters.
Yeah.
Fucking boosted sales right back up.
So basically what I'm saying is I want to make a movie that's influential enough to make a red hole punch or whatever. Yeah, that's the goal. Make hole punches red. But yeah, that great movie. Great book, hopefully. We'll see. It's a great book. I imagine it's a great book.
I mean, I'm never gonna die once I finish this book.
You'll survive. I think once you finish the last chapter, it just finishes with, now you're immortal.
Boom. Awesome.
All right. Well, that's all for us today. This is Gage signing off.
Is Eddie signing off?
And this has been Two Boys Podcast.